Welcome to the November 30th, 2017 episode of Reactive Consciousness, our in-depth podcast about what happened this week in our lives. I'm your host, VyseTheBold, and this is...
Lotus Prince.
And PyroJackFrost.
Whoa.
Wait.
Well,
what?
It says in the show notes to say a quick hello, so I try to do the opposite of that.
Oh,
PyroJack. Okay, I'll stop there.
Wouldn't it be hello?
Perfect.
So anyway, we have a really nice Black Friday special here, pretty much. So we wanted to go over some of the various deals and things that we picked up while shopping this year, the day after Thanksgiving. So what did you guys pick up?
This isn't really Black Friday, but it just so happened to be that, like, a week before Black Friday, I finally got my email. Let me start over again. I bought a Pixel 2, and with that, you get a free Google Home Mini, but you had to wait until they sent you the rebate to put it in.
So is that like the Google, like Alexa kind of thing? Is that what that is?
It's the Echo, like the Echo Dot, their version of that, the smaller one. Their thing that they were pushing for a while was the size of a donut, and it is pretty small. But I was waiting for the rebate for that, and I finally got it. So I figured, hey, I'm buying a Google Home Mini. I might as well buy other stuff too, because that's exactly what Google wants me to do. So why not? So I also picked up the, like I mentioned in Corrective Consciousness, the Google Buds, which I haven't gotten yet and probably won't get until after Christmas because they're so low stock. It's funny because I'm seeing a lot of like mixed reviews with them that people don't actually feel like they're worth the money, but somehow they keep getting sold out. So I don't know.
It's one of those things like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Like there's mixed reviews of that online, but it's like the best-selling game of the year. So what the hell is going on?
I mean, I think Google Buds is a completely different situation because I'm pretty sure that most of the reason why it's sold out is Google fanboys, like I guess myself, who's buying all them. But I'll be the judge of it. I feel like they're going to just be my expensive, hey, look at me, I make a lot of money, pair of headphones, and I'll also get another pair of wireless headphones for day-to-day use so they don't get beat up.
What do they do that is different than any other like earbuds?
I think the biggest thing, and honestly one of the biggest complaints people had, is that it's basically Google Assistant in your ears. So the right bud is touch sensitive. So if you like tap it once, or like different ways that you tap it and swipe it will either change sounds or open up Google Assistant or other things like that. I think that's the biggest things that it has for it, which really isn't that much, but it's really cool. Plus the one thing I found really interesting, which might not be a pro, isn't really a con either, is the headphones themselves aren't Bluetooth. They're wireless with the case, and the case is Bluetooth. And it's interesting, you have to connect the earbuds to the case to charge them. So like the case itself is the hub for the earbuds rather than the buds themselves, so it allows them to not have any like heavy things on them.
So you always need to have the case, huh?
Yeah, which it is what it is, but I think it's really cool because a lot of headphones you'll see they have those things that go around your neck or like a heavier thing on the back because that's really what the brain of the wireless headphones are, whereas the brain is the case. So you don't have to worry about something weighing the headphones down. But yeah, so I picked that up, and I won't be able to tell you how good they are or if they are worth the money until like a month from now. But I did purchase those, and I also purchased the Daydream View, which, if you're unaware, for any of the listeners, is Google's VR. I mean, really what it is you just put your phone in it, and you can do VR on that. So it's really not very much gaming centric as like if it was the Steam VR or the PlayStation VR, but I figured it was like $100, which really is pretty cheap entry for VR. I find for most of the things, and it's very, very comfortable. And it's still, and like with the Pixel 2, I feel like the graphics are pretty good enough for a phone VR. But yeah, so that I played around with that for a little bit. it's been pretty interesting, especially the feeling of playing it for 2 hours straight, and then taking it off, and your head hurts because the straps are kind of tight, and time has passed in the real world, and you're like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah, so it's been interesting.
Do you notice? I know one of the big things that there are complaints about with VR is that sometimes you can have what's called a screen door effect because the resolution isn't high enough with that as close to your eyes as it is. Do you feel like you had any of that issue with your phone, or did it work pretty well?
I mean, not yet. I might not have noticed it. I know my girlfriend played with it, and she thought that the resolution wasn't that great, so she might have noticed it more than I did. I don't know. One thing that I'm surprised that didn't happen to me, which actually maybe I'm not surprised with, is so the game that I played for 2 hours straight when I first got it is like a game where your character has a jetpack, so there's a lot of flying, I guess you could say, and falling. And I did not feel like weird about falling and not actually falling.
Gotcha.
But then again, I've also been the person, like, I played Mirror's Edge, and I know a lot of people got queasy with Mirror's Edge because of how movement intensive it was.
Oh, I could see that. It didn't
Like-
really bother me so much, but I get it.
Yeah, because there are some people, like, you know how when you roll in Mirror's Edge, the camera rolls too.
Yeah, that is a little. That takes a little getting used to.
That made a lot of people nauseous. Not a lot, but that made some people nauseous. And I feel like VR is the same thing, where your body is not moving in the same way the screen
Yeah.
makes you feel like. And I
Oh,
know after
sure.
playing for a little while, my stomach got a little like iffy, but
Yeah.
I didn't get nauseous from it.
But you know what that reminds me of, actually? I saw this on a Game Grumps video. Like, it was a game designed to be annoying, but it was really funny. It was a first-person Sonic the Hedgehog simulator.
Oh yeah.
And you know how whenever Sonic jumps, he spins like 100 times? So, like,
Yeah.
if you ever have to jump from one platform to another,
God help
good
you.
luck. Like, you have
Wow.
no idea where you are because you keep spinning. It's
No, thank you.
It's really nauseating.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's
It's
like
really
this is what Sonic sees when he's playing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how
all
do
the
you
time.
get anywhere?
Yeah, the other thing, I mean, I didn't really buy much on Black Friday. I was looking at TVs. Like, I went to Walmart and Target, but there was really, like, they were sold out of the ones. Like, I'm looking for a 50-inch TV, which isn't, like, the size that a lot of people want, so there weren't a lot of them in stock. So I'm kind of waiting. I mean, I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall here in a way, but I'm waiting until Cyber Monday, I should say. So
Sure.
Oh yeah,
You'll
when you're
update
hearing this
us
on
on-
Thursday, but it's
Yeah.
3 days ago that you're waiting for it
some
in the
kind
future.
of like ruining like pulling back
Yeah.
the curtain for everyone. But
Oh no.
I'm waiting for Cyber Monday. I don't want to say, hey, I bought a TV on Monday when I don't actually buy one on Monday. But I'm
Yeah.
really looking for like a 49, 50-inch TV, and I'm just hoping that I find one for pretty cheap because I'm not looking for a crazy one. The reason why is the TV that I had for a few years, it's only like 30-inch or something like that, but 32-inch, something like that, but it lost color, so the colors are all distorted, and it's not something that I can fix from the remote. Like, I'd have to actually open it up and fix it that way, and I'm in need for a bigger TV anyway, so that's why I figure I might as well look for one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm just hoping I can find a decent 50-inch TV for like $400 or less dollars. I don't know. Like, I don't want it to be a cheap one, but I don't want to go for like a really expensive one because I don't really feel like I need that.
Sure. I can understand that.
But yeah,
Well,
that's been my Black Friday, basically.
I mostly just did Steam games because Steam sale just started up. The Steam Autumn Sale is, I believe, what they call it now. So, in preparation for MagFest, because I kind of wanted to bring this up because my girlfriend and I were like the only ones out of our entire group to actually get into the main hotel out of everyone, and in seeing that we were the only ones there, we kind of knew that we would or would like to have people over to our room just to like give them a break from the con, because we know you can't get to your hotels very easily.
Yeah.
So we were going to set it up, so we could still have fun there, despite us just me and her staying there. at night. So I wanted to get a whole bunch of games, the couch competitive games that we've been liking a lot recently. So I was going to bring my PS4, my Switch, and my laptop.
Wow.
So
everything. Did you bring in the kitchen sink too?
I mean, when you think about it, the things that I'm bringing aren't all that cumbersome, except for maybe the PS4. The PS4 is probably the most cumbersome out of the bunch. I mean, the Switch is supposed to be portable, so is my laptop. Mm-hmm. So it's really not that bad. So I wanted to get all of the games that I could that I thought that we might have some interest in. So I got the newest Jackbox Party Pack because we had a lot of fun playing
I saw that there was a fourth one. I just realized that recently, and I'm wondering how good it is.
Well, I mean, they've been very good so far, so I have no reason to expect their quality to dip. So I bought that knowing full well that we will probably end up playing that. I also like the original Nidhogg a lot, and the new one has a weird art style, but I still was intrigued by it, so I really wanted to pick that up. Out of all the... And I also got Overcooked, because everybody's been having a lot of fun with that. And I also got the DLC for that as well. So everything was super cheap. Like, those games were on heavy discount.
Yeah, I was looking at the Steam sale, and there were several games on it that I wanted to buy, but I'm like, when am I going to get a chance to play these with all the other games I have?
Yeah.
Like, I used to just buy games when they were on sale, and then I realized that was bad. Like, I was just going to even buy games that I already owned and want on PC, but even that was going to be like $50, and I'm like, maybe I just wait till December, because they're going to be on sale again.
Yeah. That's why I bought like $100 worth of games, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I mean, for that's less than 2 AAA titles. So like, a AAA title's $60. So I spent $100 getting various games, but I thought it was good purchases because I got a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. So and it was all stuff that I was going to play. So a couple other quick. I wanted to go over a couple quick things that I liked that I've been wanting for a while. So I finally got The Witcher 3. I kind of went against my rule of not buying sequels to games that I haven't beaten yet, because I knew
it was discounted.
Yeah, it was discounted very heavily, and I know I'm going to play those games. And I got the Game of the Year edition for like $30 or less than $30. So I figured it was a great time to get in on it. I think it was $20 for the whole.
Oh, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, it's really good.
I couldn't pass that up. I also got Vanquish for PC because I really loved playing Vanquish, and I never beat it for 360. And I kind of want to see if this version is apparently really awesome. They did a really good PC port where they improved the game a lot.
That and Bayonetta were the two biggest ones I was looking at buying on PC.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't get Bayonetta is apparently they teased that they are re-releasing that on Switch again, so they might add content. Mm-hmm. And I also think the Wii U version is excellent because they have a lot of Nintendo extra service, fan service. So
wait, even in the original one or just 2?
Yes, in the original you could play as Link Bayonetta.
Wow.
And a few other things.
Okay.
And the halos turn into rupees and stuff. It's really cool.
Nice.
And that stuff is really good looking. So to me, extra content is more important sometimes.
Yeah.
So I would rather have the one that has extra stuff in it. The Wii U version of the original Bayonetta is excellent. So I'm not really missing out in having a PC version. Even though it might run at 60 frames per second consistently or something like that, I'm not really worried about it. Plus, the Switch version might have even more stuff, so I don't want to, obsolete it again. So I also picked up Root Letter, which apparently is a really good visual novel.
I heard good things. Yeah.
I've been more and more wanting to play some more visual novels, so I heard good things about Root Letter, so hopefully I'll pick that up. And I picked up a game called Doki Doki Literature Club.
I heard
about
very,
that.
very good things about that.
Yes.
That's one of those games that the less you talk about it, the better. Like
Yes.
just like it gets weird fast. That's what I've heard. I want to let's play that one.
That's all I know about it, and that's all I want to know about.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like apparently it's like How to Full Boyfriend. It's like, this is a weird looking game, and then shit just goes crazy, and you're like, what?
Yeah, so I can't wait to play that. I might even want to play that with you, because
Yeah,
I feel like
that
we would have a lot of fun.
I want to play it with somebody for sure.
Yeah, so I don't want to read anything about that game. All I know is that it's supposedly awesome.
Yes.
And one last thing, I out of all these, I picked up Steam World Dig 2 because I really love Steam World Dig 1.
The first one was good, yeah.
It was excellent. I played it on the Vita, and I loved it. It was a really awesome kind of Metroidvania-ish puzzle platformer. I loved it. I didn't get a chance to play Heist, which is their other game, Steam
It's
World
a
Heist.
completely different game, though.
Yeah. It's like almost like a tactics game, almost, right? But I kind of, I still want to play them in order because I'm sure there's references. And
I don't
like
think that Heist is like a sequel to Dig. I think it's a completely separate story.
Oh, okay. Well, I still would, still would like to play them in order, but that's just kind of the way I am. I kind of like to see how the developer was thinking over time, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. A lot of times people say, "Oh, dude, whatever. You could start watching or playing at this point, and like you're not going to miss any plot items." It's like, that's true, but if there are any nods or even like advances in terms of presentation or gameplay, then I'll know.
Yeah, in other words, Lotus and I are crazy people.
Yeah,
anyway,
pretty much. Like, yeah, I we've mentioned this multiple times on this podcast, but I am weird enough to like refuse to play Nier Automata until I play the fucking Drakengard 1 and 2 on PS2.
You have to play all the Cavia games, including all the really shitty ones, before you get to
it. Maybe not that
like
crazy.
Bullet Witch and all that bullshit that they
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
One other one, a game called Giga Wrecker.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
This is made by Game Freak, the makers of Pokemon.
Nice.
So I love Game Freak's output outside of Pokemon. I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I like the lore and like side stories in Pokemon and all. Some of that really cool fan servicey stuff, and I also like some of the weird stories behind some of the weird Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I'm not like a big on the gameplay. It's just never really resonated with me. But Giga Wrecker is part of their long tradition of making really interesting platformers. The Game Freak games that I remember, the first one is called Mendel Palace. I don't know if you guys played this one. It was on the NES.
Nope.
So it's really interesting game. It's a puzzle like an overhead puzzle game. Kind of like... it's similar to something like Bubble Bobble, but it's overhead rather than side view.
Okay.
And you have tiles on the ground that are actually decks of cards. Each tile actually has a deck of tiles underneath it. And your character has to shift the tiles to knock the bad guys into the wall to kill them. And these decks also might have special tiles underneath them while you're shuffling them. You can unlock like something that'll shuffle the whole board and kill everything on screen, for instance, or something like that. It was really interesting, and it's a lot of fun. It has really good music. And they also made a really good platformer that is also referenced in Pokemon called Pulse Man. One of the Pokemon is actually based off of Pulse Man. And it's just a really good platformer on the Genesis. Then they made a couple other games that I absolutely love. I don't know if you guys ever played this, but on the GBA, it's called Drill Dozer.
No, it sounds familiar.
Heard the name, yeah.
So it's really awesome. You're a girl that's part of a crime family, and you're conducting a heist, but you're in kind of like a drill capsule, and you go around and you basically solve puzzles that to complete the heists by drilling into them, and drilling into and
it's like solving problems by punching them.
But it's a lot of fun. It had a built-in rumble pack, which was pretty neat. And it was one of the few games where if you plugged it into a GBA or the Game Boy player on the GameCube, it made it actually rumbled your controller.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Mario and Luigi did that as well. That's the only other one that I know of that does that. But it's really neat because every time you drill, it rumbles. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It was a blast to play. And then they made a game called Tembo the Badass Elephant.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of like Sonic. It's like a really fast platformer where you're a gigantic elephant crashing through things constantly. A lot of fun. Really cool. Also made by Sega, or published by Sega, by the way. And this one is in the tradition of their very interesting platformers. It kind of has a Katamari Damacy feel to it. So as far as I could tell, you gather things with a ball and pick up things with a ball and use the inertia to wreck things like a wrecking ball.
Nice.
So it's awesome. I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was interesting, and Game Freak has a really interesting legacy. Because everybody just thinks of them as the Pokemon people, and for good reason. I mean, they that's what they mainly make.
Yeah, I honestly didn't realize they made many games other than Pokemon.
Yeah, they make one every 3 or 4 years. It doesn't happen too often, but they have side projects that are non-Nintendo related. So it's pretty neat. Drill Dozer even showed up in Smash Brothers as a trophy.
Nice.
Yeah. So, how about you, Lotus? How about your Black Friday?
My Black Friday was very simple. I went to a GameStop and a Best Buy. At the Best Buy, I actually, I don't have a Nintendo Switch, but I do have something of a habit starting starting maybe 6 or 7 years ago, of getting games for systems I do not yet own in anticipation of when I own the systems.
I do that too.
Yeah. I picked up, even though I have it for the Wii U, I picked up the Explorers edition of Breath of the Wild for the Switch, mainly for the swag. I don't think the Switch version of the game is a clear improvement over the Wii U. It's kind of take your pick, but the Explorers edition comes with an Explorers book and a map, and I'm a sucker for that kind of swag.
I believe that one also comes with a carrying case, if I remember right.
No, that was the bigger edition.
Oh, and that's the one I got. I was lucky enough
and that's
to get that.
Actually why I did not pre-order that one, because I actually really wanted the map, and I love stuff like that, but it's like Skyrim Collector's Edition. It comes with a giant statue.
Yeah.
Don't
Lots
care.
of
So
yeah.
So the Switch version comes, or the Super Switch pre-order stuff comes with a bunch of stuff I just couldn't care. The back, I'm never going to use this backpack. I don't care in the slightest. And I think it also came with some carrying case of some kind, like the little eye thing.
Yeah, the carrying case, it comes with a Sheikah slate. I actually have gotten a ton of use out of that because I think the Switch actually really does need a case if you own it.
Oh, case for the Switch itself.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That I didn't get one with any statues or anything like that, and it came with the map and the Switch case, and that was pretty much it, and a coin. That was
okay.
It.
Yeah, the coin is meaningless to me, but the Explorer's pre-order was basically the lower key special edition, so I was all right, and it was $60, so that's not bad for a collector's edition.
Yeah, it's basically $10 more than the regular game.
Yeah, something like that. I also picked up Fire Emblem Warriors,
nice.
The collector's edition, which was not discounted at all, actually. That was not one of the Black Friday items, but I just haven't seen it around. So I was okay, there's a copy. I better get it before it disappears.
What does that come with? I wasn't aware.
That, I think, comes with an art book. I think the soundtrack and some cards. I don't care as much about the cards, but, and also a cool case, I think. So it's all right. It's got stuff without being too much. And the third thing I got was Uncharted Lost Legacy. That game,
Okay.
I've been wanting to pick that up.
Yeah.
yeah, even when that game was new, it was like only $40. But I was like, I can wait. I'm not gonna play it the moment I buy it anyway, so I can wait. And GameStop had it for half off, $20. I'm like, there we go.
That's great. That's a hell of a deal.
Done. Got it. So now I got that. And I'm also like, this is going between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Either would apply for this, but I've been looking to get, like, in my room I used to have a CRT TV, and I just don't really use it anymore because at this point when I want to record games I do it through the FrameMeister into an HD TV, and the recording hardware I have just isn't like as efficient as what I currently use if I were to record via like the AV cables and stuff like that. So I've been wanting to replace my CRT with a computer monitor. Like, I don't even need a massive TV. I just need another thing to look at. I'm not going to watch TV on this thing. So I just need another computer monitor. So I'm going to see if I can find anything particularly good on Cyber Monday. Again, we're recording, like you're listening to this on Thursday or Friday, and I'm talking about what you will perceive as 3 days ago, but for us, we're recording this on Sunday night, so it is not yet Cyber Monday.
So yeah, I have to add that I was trying to help you out best I could with this, because the kind of research that I did, you had asked me which out of which ones were good when researching the monitor. And when I was buying one, I wanted like the least lag, so I went for like a really high end monitor.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to have what's called G-Sync, which is where NVIDIA cards will sync up directly to the monitor to have the fastest possible refresh rate and less tearing. So I kind of my knowledge of stuff outside of like the super high end ones was kind of limited, so it was a little tough for me to parse because
I'm not looking to spend. I don't want like a $600 monitor. Like I'm not competitively gaming on those monitors. I just want to record the shit that I play, like the games from like the year 2000, like on my new computer.
I'm not really competitively gaming either, but I kind of just wanted something that was kind of special, because like I wanted to be able to play shmups on it later, and I wanted to have the lowest latency. So that was just for my own personal enjoyment, and I needed a new TV anyway. So that's why I went with the one that I did. It also has like 3D capability, which I'm interested in, and it's starting to disappear.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with 3D. Like, I remember Doom... No, not Doom. Deus Ex, I think, Human Revolution, had, like, a 3D option on PC. And I'm like, oh, that might be interesting. But, like, it's just like VR. I'm not going to spend $12 billion on 3D when I don't want it that badly. And if it's already starting to die out, then, like... I guess I didn't miss much.
It just kind of sucks because like there were some really great 3D experiences. One of them being like Child of Eden.
That's probably pretty crazy. Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. I played it at my friend's house.
That reminds me. Actually, the first VR game I played on my Daydream was the demo for Res VR. And that was pretty nice.
Oh, so cool, so cool. Yeah, I love doing that, and I will buy that game again if I get an HTC Vive, because it's even better than the PSVR.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I haven't bought Res yet. So,
I am really gonna play the long game with VR. Like, I'll get VR when it's like fucking like $150.
Yeah,
like it's still like $400 now. I'm like, for what? For tech demos that show me that VR exists? I don't think so.
I was actually going to look for VR stuff on Black Friday, but. One is there really weren't many sales for it. That's the first part. Two was I've heard rumors of at least Steam is coming out with their version 2 soon, and I'm pretty sure PlayStation is as well. So I figure at this point in time, I might as well just wait. And for all I know, they're going to come out with the new ones. It's not going to be on sale. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to hear about version 3, and I'm going to be like, wait, I'll hold off again. But I think I agree in the sense that it's not huge, and I don't think it's ever going to get huge because it's requires a bunch of extra things. Like if it was just a system, it would be big, but since it requires other stuff, it's not going to ever get that huge. But I'm going to wait till version 2. That's going to be hopefully a little cheaper. And I'm actually really waiting for the wireless versions, because the good thing about the Daydream View is, granted, I just stay in place because
You're not tethered.
it doesn't deal with movement, but at least I'm not tethered. And yeah, that's the problem with Steam and PlayStation, is you're tethered to your system or your computer. But if you can get a wireless version, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm totally there with you. I was putting off getting a Vive because I've been wanting to buy one. Even though I already have PSVR. PSVR is really cool. And I enjoy playing it, especially in groups, like, because it's just a fun group activity to see the other person kind of flounder around while they're playing. One of these days I kind of want to have like a serious get together where we kind of like make some progress on playing something. But I want the Vive because it's supposed to have the best overall VR experience, from what I understand. And if I'm hearing rumors that the second one's going to come out soon, I definitely want to wait until that happens.
Yeah, I was looking to get the Vive before I'm still deciding whether I want the PSVR or the Vive. But one of the big things about the Vive, is it's actually kind of a silly reason, because there's a high chance I'm not going to use it. But I like the fact that I have Unity on my computer, and even if I never made an actual game, which I probably never would, but to just be able to like play with things in VR would be pretty cool. Like, even if I just make a bunch of little like cubes that I can go into VR and just like walk around and be like, I just made this, I'm touching cubes that I made. Like, that would be really fun. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could do that in PSVR. See, it's actually kind of interesting. I find PSVR better for games, and Steam is very, very much better for like experimental type stuff, and like, because on a computer you have a lot more open source stuff with that. But I think a lot of the better games are on PSVR.
So what I've been finding is I don't regret my PSVR purchase at all. But what I've been, because there are plenty of console exclusive things that are only going to show up on PSVR.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in.
And there's some really cool stuff there. Like there's like, you know, the Dawn, what's that game called?
I know what you mean. The jump scare horror game. Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Rush of Blood.
There's
Rush
the
of
Until
Blood.
Dawn spin-off, and then there's the Danganronpa demo.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's just a few things that I really enjoy. I've been playing Thumper, though I think that's also on PC. There's just like a bunch of games that I like on there. Now, and Resident Evil 7 is the VR mode is exclusive to the PlayStation as of right now. I think it's exclusive for a full year. So anyway, I like this kind of stuff. I like the console exclusive stuff. However, I've been finding that PlayStation hardly ever discounts any of their games.
Yeah.
So so the sales on the PSVR games are few and far in between, and so like games like Job Simulator, for instance, could potentially be a lot cheaper on Steam, because Steam sales are usually significant. You know, the really, really good sales. So I feel like I could have so many more experiences with the Vive. And like they have the Rick and Morty game now. I'd be interested in playing that. And you know, like Surgeon Simulator, all the games that I think would be a lot of fun to muck around in. I would feel like I was not spending as much money on that stuff with the Vive. I think in the perfect world I would have both, you know, because then I'd have both platforms, and I would get the multi-platform stuff on PC like I do with PC anyway right now, and get the console exclusive stuff on PSVR. But you know, it's just one of those things. I don't have infinite money, nor do I have infinite space for it all. So anybody else want to make any other remarks here?
No, I'm surprised I didn't buy as much on Black Friday, and I think I'm getting less and less interested in it. So I went to visit my parents on Thanksgiving, and I figured, hey, on the way back on Friday, I will stop by some stores. And basically all that consisted of was me walking in the store, walking around a little bit, and walking out.
That's what I did, yeah. I went out at like 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon. Like, oh, let's take a look at Black Friday stuff, I guess.
And there's really nothing, and I figured I'll just go home and buy it online. And on the other hand, too, how many of these deals am I not going to find during the normal year? Like, Black Friday is a sham in the way of it makes you think you're saving more money, but you're really not.
Yeah, one thing that my girlfriend pointed out was that nowadays what ends up happening is a lot of the companies will order a Black Friday specific model of a TV because like nobody knows like model numbers with TVs. You know, it's not something like model numbers are inherently like obtuse and nobody's gonna and also replaceable. So like no model number is gonna stick in your head. They're usually like a couple letters and a few numbers long. So they'll order specific Black Friday versions of other TVs that they normally sell because they'll be made with cheaper parts and won't be nearly as good. And she found that out like by going to a place and they actually had ran out of the Black Friday version, but they had like the real one, and she was able to get the Black Friday price on the real version by doing that. But that always makes me think, okay, well. First of all, I'm always looking for good deals anyway during normal times.
Yeah.
So I don't wait for Black Friday, and I buy things I want when it's at the best time to buy them. Anyway, so like I buy basically any video game that I want, except for games that I'm kind of like hoarding in my wish list. I'm like, okay, I will finally buy this when it all goes down, you know, that kind of thing.
And the other thing I think happens too is a lot of these things that are on sale on Black Friday are not actually at the cheapest price they would ever be. They just convince people to buy them because it's Black Friday. But that being said, like I didn't really get as much on Black Friday, and there might be some games I pick up between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but it's usually that there's really nothing different about that than otherwise. Like, for instance, Steam sales. There's a Steam sale during Christmas. There's a Steam sale during Easter. There's a Steam sale during Halloween.
There's a summer sale.
There's a summer sale. There's Steam sales all the time. There's no reason to buy it during Black Friday. The only games I would probably get are games that I already own and just want them on PC.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, even though I had a specific goal in mind with this, though, because I wanted to... There's also the New Year's sale and the Christmas sale. Yep. But I had a specific goal in mind, and I wanted to have all the games that I thought we might want to play.
Oh, yeah, no, like that's a different reason. But I'm saying for general purchases, this Black Friday isn't much different than most other sale days.
Yeah, I agree.
And for me looking for a TV, like that's my biggest purchase I was going to make this weekend, and I haven't gotten a TV because there hasn't been a good deal.
Yeah, I can't blame you either. I found that the best deals with TVs tend to be when they get replaced by a new model. Like for instance, I bought an audio receiver, like a really nice Sony one, and I had gotten an out-of-box item from Best Buy, which basically means that the one that I bought was the display model, but of the previous year. And I looked up to see what the difference between this one and the next, the current year is, and it was basically it supports a really gimmicky like Dolby format that will probably like there are probably like 5 movies out there that use it, and it'll disappear in like a year. People will forget about it. So, and I only have like 2 speakers anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
I'm not using 7.1 yet or 7.2. So I'm only using 2 at the moment. So I went for that, and I got like a $600 item for like $150.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way to go for things nowadays.
When do TVs usually cycle?
Usually new ones tend to crop up in the summer.
Okay.
They should be cropping up right around now sometimes too. So it depends. My usual go-to is to monitor Tom's Hardware and Consumer Reports, because they're the best objective sources of that information. Tom's might be a little too objective. And what I mean by that is they will say, okay, this $200 TV is way better than this $5,000 TV because you can watch things for $200. And
yeah,
and I'm like, no, I mean, yeah, you get a lot of ability for $200, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the $5,000 one. Come on, like give me a $3,000 TV that is only a little not as good as the $5,000 TV. You know, that's what I want. Not like
I gotcha.
their objectivism is a little extreme to the point where it's not helpful sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So Consumer Reports tends to be better, but even then you have to take it with a grain of salt and also factor in your own tastes. But at least it's a good guide. But if I'm always willing to help if I have the time. If you're looking into these things. And that's pretty much all I had to say. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm good.
Same.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we look forward to hearing about your Black Friday experiences in the comments. I don't usually ask about this kind of thing, but I kind of want to see what people were into. I'd like a little bit of feedback. Maybe we could talk a little bit about it next time. And I think it would be cool to pick out like a couple interesting comments. So give us a couple. So that's our show for this week. Please remember to subscribe to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. Helps us promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Tuesday on our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, the podcast about our lives and pop culture. Finally, you can friend me as VyseTheBold on Steam, PSN, Xbox Live, Twitter, and Battle.net.
And you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing some of my videos early, getting in on exclusive streams, or even selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon, which can be found at patreon.com/LotusPrince.
And you can find me as PyroJackFrost and Cloud0854 on Steam, PSN, and Battle.net.
Great. All right, guys. We'll catch you on Tuesday.
Until next time, everyone.
Bye, everybody.